so excited for you all to experience this talk that is coming. I have just witnessed how this woman and her path, her quest, I feel really emotional just talking about it, is filled with such bravery. And I know who has also just opened the hearts of all the women in our program, her message and who she is, and the profound work she has done and is now doing for others. I am so touched by her courage and her vulnerability and her love that comes through so much here. And I am so excited to introduce you now to our final speaker, Lindsay Reiling. All right, so let's make sure everybody's muted. Take what you need, and we are ready for you.
Between 5 and 5:30 every night, my husband comes home from work. Most days, I wish he'd stay a little bit longer, but the kids keep asking for him. When is Daddy home? Is he almost home? Is he bringing me dinner? It's getting on my nerves. He'll get here when he gets here. I usually snap back at them. I can't wait until the sweet relief of bedtime when the kids are already in bed. I can just go to my room, be alone without anybody around me. And I just want to escape to that reality TV world with a bag of chips and some chocolate. Oh, I still have 3 hours to go. I hear the car drive up, and a mix of relief and bitterness fills my chest. I walk away from the front door and escape to my bedroom. I take a deep breath and try and steel myself to come and greet my husband. I hear my kids chatting away, telling him the stories of their day. I walk to the front door, say hi, give him a quick kiss and a hug. Not because I want to, but because I want to see if I can taste alcohol on his breath or smell alcohol on his clothes. I need to know what I'm working with tonight. As supper comes and goes, we're all kind of mulling around the kitchen, and I'm watching my husband load the dishwasher. And I just can't help but stop myself from saying something. Look at that plate you just put in. It has food all over it. The dishwasher's not a garburator. Kids scatter. My husband slinks off into the living room. And I end up taking out all the dishes, rinsing them, and reloading the dishwasher. Most of the night, we just try and avoid one another. We try and stay away and just stay busy with things going on. Then I kind of sense that there's something off, and I go into investigation mode. So how was work? What were you doing? How many meetings did you have? Did you go to lunch with somebody? Now he's the one getting irritated at me, but I really don't care. I need to prepare myself for after the kids are in bed. Will I need to confront him about his drinking? Will we get in a fight or an argument and he'll go off to his bedroom and continue to drink and I'll just be pissed off in my room? I need to know. That reminds me, I should have checked his bedroom before he got home. Should have checked for receipts or bottles or any kind of evidence I could find. Most times, I'm not sure whether he's drinking or not. My gut tells me he is, but he's so good at convincing me that he's not. There's been so much hiding and lying, I don't know what's true and what isn't. So I need to take control and figure it out for myself. I want some evidence. I consider just letting him take care of bedtime and me kind of faking being sick and not feeling well. Then I could start my reality TV escape a little early tonight. But then I think, well, he'll keep the kids up too late and he'll pick out the wrong pajamas and he won't find my daughter's special bunny. It's just easier if I do it myself. I'll do it better than him. If only, I think, if only he would stop drinking. At this point in my life, I was like a glass of water. If you can picture a glass of water filled to the brim, the surface tension creates like a dome where the meniscus looks like rounded on top. If the glass stays put, nobody touches it, nobody shakes it, nobody disturbs it, nobody goes around it, the meniscus will stay intact. However, if there's any slight shake or disturbance, that delicate meniscus will splash all over. I am that delicate meniscus, ready to splash over the edge at any moment. I blame, shame, judge, and everyone just scatters, and I can't blame them really. This was my life for around 6 to 7 years. 2 years ago, my husband and I hit our rock bottom, and we decided together that he needed to go to rehab. I drove him to rehab for a 30-day stay and drove back to be with the kids. I had a moment of transformation suddenly come to be in those few days after he was at rehab. I was in the basement toy closet of all places, and I was actually feeling pretty good. I was feeling kind of smug and self-righteous in my plan that I had for this 30 days that he was gone. I was going to declutter and purge the entire house. I thought, I'm going to be so strong. I'm going to show everyone how unaffected I am and clean this whole house. Everyone will be so impressed. I'm going to get rid of any evidence and energy of his alcoholism that still exists around here. And everyone will be so impressed with me. I had been putting on a mask of being the perfect family for so long that this just seemed like the right thing to do. So, tunes cranked, messy fun, a coffee mug that read, "Our house runs on love, laughter, and strong coffee." I opened up some boxes and would make any HGTV star proud by my skill of learning how to declutter properly. Toss piles, donate piles, keep piles. And all my piles going. I was on a roll, feeling good, feeling strong and brave. Then I froze. I saw it. An empty bottle of Wiser's rye. The irony, my husband's drink of choice. The irony of the Wiser's rye is it never made him any wiser. Out of nowhere, I hucked the bottle as fast as I could across the wall, across the room, smashed on the wall everywhere. And then I just started looking around me, grabbing anything and everything within reach, and just started throwing it, kicking, screaming, punching the air. And a deep, aching scream just came out of my mouth. And then I just collapsed on the floor. That delicate meniscus was now a puddle on the basement floor. After a few breaths, I sat up, and then a moment of clarity kind of came through to me. I'm sick too. I am sick too. I need to heal as much as my husband does. I have been massively affected by my husband's alcoholism, and I literally had no idea until this moment. I paused and just took that in. And then I started to consider, what are the ways that I have been affected? I was impatient all the time. I was extremely judgmental of others. I blamed, shamed, was passive aggressive, was really controlling, tried to control everything and everyone around me. And I realized that I really can't control anyone except for myself. So I thought that I would try and find some way to start my own healing journey. I thought, what can I do? The first thing that came to mind was to list those triggers that really set me off, that really spilled the glass of water every time. And I listed those. And then when those triggers would happen, I would ask myself, and I would get open and curious and ask myself, how am I feeling right now? I would try and separate myself and be objective and think, what is the feeling or emotion in me right now at this moment? Because I'd never considered that before. So I would write down, maybe it was sadness, maybe it was frustration, powerlessness, rage. And then I would go a step further and I would say, where is that coming from? Where is that disappointment really rooted in? And I would look deep inside and try and slowly go down to the root of the problem, the core issue that was there. Because most of the time, it's not the act that happens right in front of you. The reaction is something that is deep inside, a belief or a pattern that arises that you didn't even know existed. So I started a process of decluttering my thoughts, my beliefs, and my patterns. And I would look at those, and then I would decide what I would keep and what I would toss. At this point, I realized I didn't like who I was. I didn't want to be the woman who ran away from the front door when her husband came home. I didn't want to be the woman who was just couldn't wait for the kids to go to bed. So I thought about what kind of woman I really wanted to be. And I wrote down all of my feelings. And then I decided to be extremely kind and forgiving to myself. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy process. But I made a conscious decision to go easy on myself and be really forgiving with myself. And then I decided to make a list of things that I liked, things that brought me joy and excitement. It was funny because that was really hard for me to do at that time. If you asked me to write a list of things that pissed me off, oh, that was easy. I could just boop, 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 boop. That was an easy list to make. The happy list, which I actually titled Happy Stuff, the happy stuff list was actually a little bit challenging. So some of the stuff I came up with was walking, going for a walk in nature, watching a movie with my kids from my childhood with a big old bag of popcorn, having a bubble bath or going for a meditation or a pedicure, or reading a book on my deck in the morning with a cup of coffee. Going through this process, slowly the layers were coming out and I was slowly revealing the woman and decluttering the woman who I really wanted to become. At the same time, my husband was going through a similar decluttering of the soul while he was in rehab. And we started to have real, vulnerable conversations with one another. And we both actually decided, like I had decided with myself, that we would be extremely forgiving with one another on our healing journey. We consciously also made a decision that we would work on each other individually first, on ourselves. And then when we were at a point that we felt like we had healed somewhat at that point, then we would come together as a couple and we would work on our healing journey as a couple together. That openness, that vulnerability, the real conversations that we started to have with one another, and the forgiveness and grace that we gave one another really started to form a beautiful bond once again with us. Now, 2 years later, I am the woman that I wanted to be. I'm the first to greet my husband at the door when he comes home. I willingly give him lots of hugs and kisses. And I'm guilty of keeping up the kids past their bedtimes just to savor that family time. My husband and my kids are still working on the art of properly loading a dishwasher. And I myself am working on the art of letting go of the need for a perfectly loaded dishwasher. In January 1st, 2021, my husband and I renewed our vows. We were in the middle of a lockdown in the pandemic, and it was just my husband and I, my 3 kids, and our dog. And we made a little vow renewal ceremony in our living room. My girls and I made our own bouquets and made a homemade wedding cake. And we all committed as a family together to be open, to be honest, and to be forgiving with one another. Now, going through this process, my husband and I, we started to open up to family and friends and be vulnerable and real with our family and friends. And the really cool thing that we discovered is that it gave them a safe space to open up and be vulnerable with us. So today, I hope that my vulnerability can give you the courage to open up and be vulnerable and be authentic. To really look inside that glass of yours. Look at the daily surface tension that goes on and really seek the true strength of who you are. Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Well done.
It's beautiful.
Awesome. So good. Wow.
Oh, so good.
Gosh, Lindsay, exquisite. Anybody here, jump in, reflect back to her about your experience, witnessing, hearing her just now.
Sure, I'll jump in. Lindsay, that was so beautiful. Wow, it's like you walked us through a whole process on what to do to figure out your life if you're not happy, step by step. I mean, I could like feel a whole program come out of you in that talk. Just how you explored your feelings and then you brought in like how you decided to be forgiving and kind to yourself. I mean, it's just such a beautiful reminder for us women to do that to ourselves. And I just was inspired by you in so many different ways and all different things that you said. Those are just a couple of them. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Beautiful, Leah. Thank you. Who else? We'll take one more. And I know there's a lot of people because the chat has been going insane. So yes,
I can
Natalie
share. Hello. I am really inspired by the picture you painted for us from a victim to total self-responsibility and how it affects and impact not only your life but your husband and your kids. I'm like, it gives a hope. Like that, hearing your story is like a testimonial of the kind of world I want to live in. So it's like this realization. No, we can go from here to here. Just thank you.
Wow,
Thank you so much.
really exquisitely celebrated. Thank you. Lindsay, I am so touched. I mean, it always, I mean, it just amazes me, just the experience of, having seen many iterations, you working in this moment right now, the way that you wove it today and who you are in this moment. I mean, it's like a complete whole other level of the message, of the talk, of you as a deep wisdom teacher and speaker. And I just am so moved. I mean, I was just crying at the end, talking about the forgiveness and the grace that you both chose to give one another is so remarkable. It says so much just about the heart of who you both are, and offers such a model for us of how to heal things that just are really hard. And it's a two-way journey, in a relationship, and you model that so beautifully. And I'm so excited for so many women, whether they are struggling with having a partner that is struggling with addiction, right? But also just women who are having just deep challenges in their life and feeling profoundly unhappy, of how to heal and how to transform. It's such an inspiring, uplifting story. It's such a message of deep hope. And I'm so excited for what's going to unfold for you.
Thank you.
So gorgeous. Let's give her another huge round of applause.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So powerful. So powerful.
So inspiring.
Yeah, so beautiful.
It was so good, Lindsay.